Hi, my name's Tony Treacy and this blog is entitled Why It's Essential to Make the Most of Every Second You Spend with a Client. Every moment you spend with a client counts, not just the big meetings, not just the big presentations or pitches towards the end of the business development process. Every moment counts. And here's why. Clients don't decide which supplier to appoint at the end of the business development process. Everything you say or do throughout it is analysed and remembered by your client. They look at you and every other potential supplier through a lens that is personal, judgmental and critical. They look at the content you provide, what you say or write, as well as the performance, how quickly and comprehensively you respond to their questions. And they form an impression of what it will be like to work with you and your company should they appoint you. And this is why every interaction with a prospective client is important, because it shapes their perspective of you. At the same time, it also presents you with opportunities to reinforce key messages about your approach, your skills, your products and services and capabilities, etc. So how often do you stop for a moment and put your strategic hat on and ask, what is motivating the client to request this information or ask this question? And what's the best way to respond? And how do I use this moment to my best advantage? Now, being strategic doesn't require heavy lifting. It isn't complicated. It's a business process or mindset. All that's required is time to think and thereafter a bit of preparation. Step one is to evaluate what your client has asked you to do in the context of your current relationship. And I call this the as is. The as is describes your relationship as it stands at this precise moment in the business development process. Your relationship encompasses everything the client knows about your business, the services, solutions and products you have offered them, the skills you and your team possess, which enable you to deliver everything the client needs, and therefore how what you offer will solve the most important issues and challenges the client may be facing. Your company history and experience working for similar clients or the sector or industry the client works in. Your USPs, what differentiates you from your competitors. On top of all of that is how you perceive the relationship with the client. Do you feel they properly understand and appreciate the value you offer? Or are there areas where you think they're not confident, where they have doubts and concerns about your ability to deliver everything they want? This knowledge, the as is, comes from the conversations you've had with the clients, presentations you've given, documents and emails you've sent, plus whatever they may have learned from your website. And it's always worth remembering they might know something about you from other clients, as well as outside influencers. The point is context. The client is asking questions for a reason, and therefore thinking through your relationship thus far should make you think about their motives and whether you've done a good enough job in communicating the value you offer in the first place. So on to step two. Step two is therefore focused on how you respond to their questions, as well as how you identify how you can use this moment to build a closer and deeper relationship with the client. In other words, how you're going to move the relationship forward. And I call this the 2B. Of course, there is a degree of practicality to deal with, pulling together whatever information or responses have been asked for. But remember, you have the opportunity, both in writing and verbally, to communicate key messages, to address concerns you perceive the client has, and to reinforce your capabilities and commitment to solve the client's issues and challenges in the future. In other words, to move the relationship forward positively from the as is, where it is now, to the 2B, where you want it to be. You and any team member involved in this moment should be clear what you want to communicate and why it's important to do so. That's how you make the most of every second you can spend with a client.